It is, Christine. Alex, the family is in shock. They really don't have answers as to what happened to their loved one. They tell me he was healthy, he was fine, until he took the second dose of the Pfizer vaccine. Tim Zook was 60 years old. He worked as an X-ray technologist in Santa Ana. As a healthcare worker, he was excited to finally have protection against coronavirus. This was his last Facebook post. He wrote, "Never been so excited to get a shot before. I am now fully vaccinated after receiving my second Pfizer dose." But just 2 hours after getting the vaccine, Tim started having abdominal pain, and suddenly breathing was a struggle. It was all downhill from there.
And the doctors believe that his body reacted to something after he took the vaccine. And they call it an inflammatory reaction.
But I did want to also point out that we have not seen any major complication from the vaccine. I know there's a lot of rumors going around that there may have been individuals who died from the vaccine. I heard there were 20 or more, and that's absolutely not the case. There is no evidence that Hank Aaron passed away because of the COVID shot. I know that people are saying that. I've seen it on social media.
There's some important information about the death of baseball legend Hank Aaron. The coroner's report reveals the beloved icon died of natural causes. The 86-year-old Hall of Famer had just recently been given the COVID vaccine, but officials stressed that had nothing to do with his passing.
The 86-year-old Hall of Famer was vaccinated on January 5th. He died in his sleep 18 days later. Anti-vaxxers like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. are pouncing on the coincidence. Kennedy posted, "Hank Aaron's tragic death is part of a wave of suspicious deaths among elderly closely following administration of COVID vaccines." But the Fulton County medical examiner in Georgia says he passed away from natural causes, completely unrelated to the vaccine.
Well, South Africa has suspended its rollout of the Oxford AstraZeneca coronavirus vaccine after a small clinical trial suggested that it offered only minimal protection against mild to moderate illness from the COVID variant that originated in the country. South Africa received more than 1 million doses of the vaccine and had planned to start inoculating frontline health care workers in the coming days. Authorities say that the vaccination program will proceed in the coming weeks, but with vaccines by Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer-BioNTech instead.
This is the post that is circulating around social media. It's a tweet that says these are 3 of the 4 volunteers who developed Bell's palsy after being vaccinated with the Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. So that's where we started with our trust index.
This is something that's popular going around social media now, particularly amongst the anti-vaccination crowd.
UF Health Jacksonville Director of Infectious Disease Chad Nielsen says misleading posts like this one are very common and reminds everyone not everything you read on social media is true.
There's no evidence of that for this vaccine yet. Certainly when Pfizer released their clinical trial information, the adverse events were reported. There was nothing serious. I'll go on and say there were deaths in the clinical trial, none of which were due to the vaccine.
To be clear, 4 participants in the Pfizer vaccine trial and 4 participants in Moderna's trial did experience Bell's palsy, which in its simplest form causes the face to droop. In Pfizer's trial, all 4 participants who experienced Bell's palsy received the COVID vaccine. However, in Moderna's trial, 3 participants who experienced Bell's palsy got the vaccine, 1 got the placebo. The FDA recognized these cases of Bell's palsy before approving Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine, but says there is no evidence to link the two. It's important to note that the reaction didn't happen immediately after the vaccine was administered, but in all cases weeks later. The FDA is now recommending surveillance of cases of Bell's palsy as more people get vaccinated. Now, since there is no scientific directly linking the two, we are going to mark this claim as not true on the trust index. And as for this picture here, this photo appears in an article about Bell's palsy dated November 20th, 2019, well before the first documented cases of COVID-19 in the United States. So we are also going to mark this as not true on the trust index. I'm Lauren Verno, Channel 4, the local station.